Jimmy Gang, the Army, the Navy, the Unstoppable. Welcome back to another video with your guy, Gemini by Law, man. Today, we gonna be getting into this, he never sold his soul and still made 50 million. We talking about Chamillionaire. I'm about to jump into this video, man. I want to see what's going on, man. How my guy was able to remain wealthy and keep his bread rolling in after his rap career was over. And to everybody who wondering why I'm not posting on my other channel, man, listen. Technical difficulties, man. I'll be back in a couple days over there. But listen, man, I'm going to keep doing the reactions over there on that other channel. This channel right now, I'm going to be doing reactions. But in a week or two, we jumping into the in real life content. That means out and about, trolling people, having fun on the streets of New York, and then we're going to start going state to state. I'm dead ass. That's my word. Hold me to it. You will get a video on here less than 2 weeks. Me out and about, New York City streets, trolling, just talking to people, asking them awkward questions. Bro, we going up on this channel. But that was a long intro. I apologize for the long intro, man. Let's jump right into the video, man. I got me a spliff with me. I don't know if you got one. Shit, with my lighter. I got a lighter right here, too. So I got what I need, man. Let's jump right into this video. Spark your spliff if you got one. Get some snacks. Get some whatever you need. Let's go.
We were talking about Chamillionaire, a rapper who had one mainstream hit song, Ridin' Dirty, which gave him enough fame and fortune to escape music forever and move on into a new career where he would generate tens, potentially hundreds of millions of dollars. Look at all the jewelry, all the clothes, all the brand new cars, all the fancy houses. It seems like the general understanding of rappers is that they are filthy rich. Even your average upcoming rapper is probably flashing cash and flexing their lifestyle that they probably don't live. Most rappers are not as rich as they portray themselves to be. Fake it till you make it.
That's a fact, though. If you know the music business, you know the niggas who sign the artists is really rich. And you don't even see them wearing the shit that these niggas wear.
It's rare that these artists can amass tens of millions of dollars just based on their music. Why? In short, the music business is designed to get labels more rich, not the artist. It's often where rappers sign terrible contracts, do not own their creations, and only make around 20% of the revenue that it generates. Chamillionaire saw the trap. He experienced what it was like to have a label take advantage of an artist. One time he even learned the label was hiding $600,000 from him. But the funny thing about it is, he never started music to get rich. I know it's hard to believe that a rapper named Chamillionaire isn't all about money, but his name is inspired by him relating to chameleons. Hakeem Sariki was an introverted guy who was very curious and very observant.
That is facts. It's very rare that you find a rapper who started rapping and didn't want to get rich. Like, because most rappers come from impoverished situations. Like, how could you not want to get rich? You want to get out the situation. But let's continue.
In Jersey Village High School in Houston, Texas in the mid-90s, he watched kids at school freestyling at lunch. He sat back for weeks watching. What made the crowd react? He thought he could do it better than them. He recognized that people would go crazy when you rapped about someone's hat or shirt, so that they all knew you just thought of the line off the top of your head.
You the poster boy for acne cream.
So he practiced freestyling off the top of his head to gain respect from his peers. One of those peers was Paul Wall. They grew up on the same street, knowing each other since they were toddlers. They both...
Bro, before he even started talking about the, Houston rappers, bro, them Houston rappers is hustlers, bro. All them Houston niggas is hustlers, bro. They get it out the trunk, bro, for real. In the 90s, they was spinning it around with their CDs, just making money off the state. Texas so big, you get money off just that state and live.
And at Jersey Village High School, and Chamillionaire always looked up to Paul. He was charismatic, someone everyone wanted to be friends with. But Cam was more of a background guy. He liked to blend in and observe. They started a group together called the Sleepwalkers. After high school and a bit more experience in the Houston, Texas rap scene, they rebranded as the Color Changing Clique. They had no management. Paul was the friendly guy who made relationships, and Cam was the hard-headed businessman. They thought themselves to be kind of like a good cop, bad cop, where Cam was the bad cop. They would book their own shows, sometimes doing them for free, just to get their name out there. They recorded mixtapes and printed CDs all by themselves with their own money, and would drive city to city selling them. Cam even had a website in 2002 where he would sell merch, his own CDs, his friends mixed.
Damn, that's early on, 2002? My son had a website in 2002 selling merch and CDs, bro. Niggas wasn't even on the internet like that in 2002. Trust me, I know, because I'm an internet nigga. I love the internet. I be on YouTube, all nigga. And niggas was not on it. Yo, Soulja Boy was the only nigga on YouTube back then. We thought.
He had a mailing list that people could join, and even his phone number just posted out there. He knew the value of the internet way before every other rapper. Here's Cam in 2012 breaking down the intricacies of his old website.
Okay, I'm gonna make a vault on my website, right? And in the vault, we're gonna have a leaderboard. So all of these fans are gonna do actions for me. I kind of use the military theme. You know, my company is called Chamillionaire. So we started doing levels and badges. Like, you know, you could become a sergeant, a general, and all these different levels in the Chamillionaire. So now these fans have bragging rights. So look, this is some of the stuff I started putting up in the award center. I put up a mixtape Messiah plaque. This is one of my mixtapes. I went and made a plaque for it. I've got the original painting from my second album. I've got the jacket I wore in the Riding Dirty video. The reward actually gets sent to the fan. The fan sends me the picture. I upload the picture for everybody, and he brags to everybody like, haha, look at me with the plaque.
The independent grind was rare at a time where most aspiring artists were focusing on getting noticed by a record label or another poppin' rapper. But all the major labels were based in New York or LA. So in Houston, Texas, they had to make their own way. Little by little, city after city, Cam watched his fan base grow in front of his eyes. All that grind, losing money for years, paid off in 2002 with the release of their first album,
That is ugly nigga. But shout out to his story. I fuck with all this, bro. I fuck with Son's story heavily, bro. Because I like niggas that know how to take this money and move it around and get money in different ways, bro. I respect that OD.
Correct, which sold over 150,000 copies and was nominated by The Source as Independent Album of the Year. This album is a Texas classic and brought the duo to new heights. Unfortunately, all this grind and success just brought more animosity between the two. They each had different ideas for how to continue their careers, so they decided to part ways. Paul went back to the legendary Swishahouse label and collective, whereas Chamillionaire focused on being his own boss and building a solo name. He released his legendary mixtape Messiah in 2004, which was a 3-disc record with 60 songs. This went on to sell 40,000 copies.
Nigga said he released 60 songs. What year was this? What year was this? You released 60 songs at once? 3 discs? This one you had discs, nigga. You had to put them shit to the CD player, nigga. I mean, I gotta pop one out, put the next one in. Pop one out, put another one in. It's a lot of music, buddy.
He started his MySpace page in 2004 and had millions of page views. At this point, he had a forum on Chamillionaire.com with 34,000 registered users. People would just go on here and chat about anything, like a private social media site. He had an email list with tens of thousands of fans who he could directly market his mixtape to. Not only was he willing to do the real-life grind of handing out mixtapes, but he also understood the value of social media and connecting with his fans online before it was normal. He started a custom car shop called Fly Rides. Most rappers are not buying the cars you see in their videos. They rent them for one day for thousands of dollars. Cam had tons of connections to rappers who needed cars, so he bought a bunch of them, customized them Texas style, and rented them to his rapper friends. Or if they wanted to splurge and buy one...
Yo, that's fire! My son was business-minded from the jump. Bro, he like, oh, all these rappers need cars, all these rappers want to rent cars? I'm going to buy some cars, fix them up, and rent them to these niggas when they come to Texas. Get this money off the rap game. I'm eating in the rap game already. I'm going to eat another way in the rap game. Respect this nigga, man. Respect this nigga, man.
He would be the guy they would go to customize their rides. He started a modeling agency called Masterpiece Mindframe, where he would get hip-hop video girls consistent work in the industry. And he started the Victory Tour Bus, where he would buy luxury tour buses with internet, cable televisions, showers, and rent them to his artist friends when they needed to hit the road.
Son, this nigga's a money maker, bro. This nigga know how to make some fucking money. I fuck with this nigga, man. Still ugly, though, but I fuck with this nigga.
He was making big independent moves, but he knew he needed a major label if he wanted to have a monumental impact on hip-hop. He started his own label, Chamillionaire Entertainment, and landed a joint venture with Universal Records. A joint venture was one of the hardest partnerships to get in the early 2000s. Because he already sold 100,000 records independently, he had leverage. Plus, he visited literally every single other label and told them that he was comfortable with leaving without getting a deal. So Universal had no choice but to give him a good deal. At that time, most rappers signed royalty deals for a lump sum. Let's say 500,000, with an 80-20 split favoring the label. But that sum is a loan, so they have to pay it back. The
niggas be, oh, my advance, my advance, my advance. But how much did you sell, though? Did you make back the money that they spent? No. You're a slave! You're a slave! Yes. That's what these label contracts be, for real.
typically own the masters as well. Once a song or album generates 500 grand, which in 2004 would be around 38,000 sales, with the average album cost being $13, the artist is no longer in debt, but will only earn 20% of the revenue. However, typically with a JV, you and the label are 50-50 partners. The label doesn't give you an advance unless you want it, but they spend all the money for producing, mixing, and marketing the album. Basically, they take all the financial risk and split the reward in half with the artist. Chamillionaire's first album, The Sound of Revenge, released in 2005 and sold 800,000 copies in its first 2 weeks. If they sold it...
Bro, that's how you know music sales was up. 800,000, bro. That's Drake numbers. Drake, that's like some of Drake's best numbers right there. 800,000 copies? Oh my God. Bro, music was selling different back then. The labels was getting so rich.
An average of $13,
They still
that's
is.
$10.4 million. If the album cost $1 million to make, which is very possible considering the wide variety of producers and features on the project, he still would have generated $4.7 million in 2 weeks. By the end of 2005, The Sound of Revenge secured 1.5 million copies sold, but the single from the album, Ridin', would go on to change his life. Ridin' debuted at number 88 on the Billboard Hot 100, February 26th,
Try to get me riding dirty.
which was
Try to get me riding dirty. Try to get me riding dirty. Try to get me riding dirty. That was my shit when it came out. And then the white boy had a remix. Try to get me white and nerdy. Try to get me white and nerdy. Try to get me white and nerdy. Only the real ones know that one if you was around back then.
weeks after the album dropped. It slowly climbed higher and higher on the charts until June 28th. 4 months later, it peaked at number 1 and stayed there for 2 weeks in a row. The song sold 3.2 million ringtones, making him the first multi-platinum master tone artist in history. Yes, before Soulja Boy.
Yo! What did I fucking tell you, son? I said Soulja Boy was the only nigga getting it like this, grinding like this back then. Yo, it was before Soulja Boy my son sold out the ringtone game. Soulja? Big Soulja? Draco? Nah, shout out to my nigga Draco, man. I fuck with Big Draco. But this nigga Chamillionaire clearly was doing it first.
He won the Grammy Award for Best Rap Performance by a Duo or Group. Even Weird Al Yankovic's parody of his song, White and Nerdy, peaked at number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was Al's first platinum record.
Just said
it's safe to say that Ridin' was the hottest rap song of 2006. It was a hit.
Young nigga that just in the game to get some money, man, and that's my story, man. You know, I want to get my family out of poverty and
So what was this nigga talking about in the beginning? Talk about something. He wasn't in it for the money. Nigga, he just said he was in it for the money. Every nigga who come from an impoverished situation, nigga, what the fuck you think I'm out here grinding for, nigga? Try to get some fucking money, nigga, change the situation. What's up? Like, are you crazy?
watch my family living good, and I did that, and people respect that. So
Cam's mission was very clear: get some money and get his family out of poverty. He made millions of dollars from Ridin' and his album because of his joint venture. His deal was so good, he probably made more money off this song and album than most artists do in their whole careers. There was no rush to keep dropping music. He did mixtapes for the passion and to keep his relevance, but his eyes were set on something much bigger. His sophomore album, Ultimate Victory, went gold. He had a couple singles that did well, but nothing near the level of Ridin'. Like I said, he didn't need to work as hard selling records because he made more money from a gold record than someone who went 2 or 3 times platinum. But for the next few years, he just did whatever he wanted creatively. He stayed in touch with his fan base through MySpace, Ustream, Twitter. Most people give Soulja Boy the credit for being the internet rapper, but Cam was way ahead of Soulja Boy. He just doesn't brag about it. Cam tried to educate his peers, but they thought he was annoying. He tried to teach them some game. Stay out of the club, stop wasting your money on your image. They didn't want to hear what he had to say. It was like when your dad turns everything into a life lesson. He was having trouble with Universal. They forced him to put out his Ultimate Victory record as a censored version with no curse words, so that Best Buy and Walmart would give him preferential treatment and put his album in front of 50 Cent and Kanye's. He lied to the public and said he wanted to do a clean record, but he was just obeying the label's commands. He's a few years removed from Ridin'.
A clean record? Bro, get the fuck out of here. Nobody want to hear no fucking censored shit, nigga, on the original album.
And they want him to make millions.
So I can't go hear the curses nowhere? I can't go hear the dirty version nowhere? There is no dirty version? The fuck out of here, nigga.
Them again. Venom was supposed to be his 3rd studio album to release in 2009, but the label kept trying to make creative changes, which kept pushing back the release. He was fed up with the music industry.
When I got in before, I used to think it was just going to be like, you know, fun and having fun outside of actual recording.
Like, it's the person that understands business that's the most successful.
This was Cam's mindset in 2009.
Facts.
He started attending tech conferences because he was a real-life example of using technology to make millions. He sat in the back rows, blending into the crowd like a chameleon, listening, observing. As more time went on, he made connections. Eventually, he got to be a speaker at a conference in LA to talk about how he used social media to advance his music career. One of the tools he used was Say Now. Say Now was a service where artists and celebrities could give out a phone number to their fans, and the fans could call or text the artist. Soulja Boy famously put his Say Now number in the song Kiss Me Through the Phone. Chamillionaire would connect the Say Now executives with the rappers that they wanted to work with. He was so valuable to Say Now that they gave him a little % ownership in the company. Cam was shocked. Ownership? After the company sold to Google for, quote, tens of millions of dollars, Cam knew his future was not in music. At that tech conference, he caught the attention of Mark Suster. Mark is an American entrepreneur and venture capitalist. He is a managing partner at Upfront Ventures, which is the largest venture capital firm in Los Angeles. Mark took him under his wing into the world of tech, venture capitalism, and angel investing. He invited Cam to private events with executives from Disney, Fox, Warner, media agencies, and startup CEOs.
Big names. Big names. Big names.
Co-invested in companies. One of them was Maker Studios, which reportedly sold to Disney for $675 million. Chamillionaire was getting smarter. His friend Nelly told him about the importance of auditing the record label. So Cam hired Jay-Z's auditor to basically conduct a financial examination of the Universal and Chamillionaire joint venture. Turns out they were hiding $600,000 from him. In 2011, Cam wanted out of his deal after not being able to release his third album for 2 years. He told the label if they didn't end his partnership, he would teach every artist on their roster how to do an audit and find out how much money the label was withholding from them. So they let him go. To the fans, Cam was still dropping mixtapes, but to him, he was done with music. He was ready to dive into the tech world. He got his friends, Big Boy from Outkast, Trey Songz, E40, all to get interested in this entrepreneurship world. In 2015, he became an entrepreneur in residence at a VC to immerse himself more in the tech world.
Entrepreneur in residence is, there's a venture capital firm, and I will go in there and sit in there every day, basically be involved in all the pitch meetings. When pitching to a venture capitalist, I'll be sitting in the room just listening.
He invested in Lyft before they went public. Lyft obviously became the second biggest ride-sharing app to this day. He invested in Cruise, which was an autonomous vehicle company that was acquired by General Motors for over $1 billion. He invested in the doorbell company Ring, which was acquired by Amazon for over $1 billion. Chamillionaire has established himself as a savvy investor who sees the potential in companies. For the past few years, he's been working on his app Convos, which is a social video app for genuine conversations with real people. Today, Chamillionaire is invested in over 60 companies, one of them being a hot sauce company, Sienna Sauce. His portfolio is diverse, not just focused on big tech. The ironic thing about all of this, despite Google saying his net worth is $50 million and that he's probably the richest one-hit wonder of all time, he doesn't want people to get caught up in the money. He's leading by example on how to build wealth, how to play the long game. You won't just jump into Silicon Valley and become a multimillionaire overnight. Since 2002, Cam has been ahead of the curve. You saw the websites he was building. You saw him on MySpace and Twitter before everyone else. You saw him selling ringtones, landing a joint venture, then working with Say Now. He knew Spotify was going to take over the music industry in
Bro, listen, this is the end of the joint. This is going to be one of my longest videos. But listen, if you made it here with me, dang, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Don't always be focused on what the outside, you know what I mean, looks like, oh, rapper this, rapper that. Yeah, if you get some money rapping, cool. But think about what you're going to do with that money when you get it. Make sure you invest that shit. That's what I'm learning. Like, listen, man, any money I get, man, I'm putting it up to invest. You heard? Obviously, you got to put something back into the brand, but you got to invest. You got to make sure you're putting your money up to double it, triple it, quadruple it. You heard? But listen, Jimmy Gang, I'm off this nasty. It's the end of the video. Like I said, if you made it to the end, man, you really my guy, my girl, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I rock with you for real. When you off this nasty, I see y'all in the next one. Jimmy Gang, don't forget, man, IRL content coming to the channel. We vlogging hard body. It's going to be dope. Listen, man, just y'all going to see when they get here. I'm going.